Hello everyone, ReplayX2X here. Bringing you with the second part of the Great Ponyville Snowball fight. Um, I went over my video in the last. I went over my audio in the last video, and I noticed that I went way too high with my voice at times. So I'll just try to keep it at a minimum, and for the voices, until I get better at them, I'm just going to like do it in my original voice, but if I can, change the tone up a bit. But other than that, that's all I had to do. Oh, I'm also sorry for my shit. My mistakes in my reading. Yes, I know. There's a buttload of them. Um, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish, or at least see if I can finish this story. Um, but here we go. The two friends stood in unison, Applejack facing ahead and to her right to where Rainbow's voice had originated, Twilight facing off to the left towards Pinkie Pie's telltale bouncing. Twilight spotted Pinkie Pie immediately and, her target acquired, hurled her snowball at her with abandon. Any lingering reservations she might have had were replaced with delighted at satisfaction at the missile as the missile struck its target dead on, exploding softly and harmlessly over Pinkie's face with its own little puff noise. Exhilarating. Pinkie stopped bounding. It's supposed to be bouncing. Okay. Pinkie stopped bouncing in her tracks, her eyes wide and stunned as the unexpected assault then... Oh. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Her eyes wide and stunned at the unexpected assault. Then she giggled loudly and, sticking her tongue out, ran it around her face, licking the snow off with a huge grin. She stopped where she stood and gathered a clump of snow, readying a counterattack. Realizing she couldn't afford to let Pinkie strike back, Twilight reached for another of her... Twilight reached for another of her... Oh, okay. Twilight reached for another of her pre-made snowballs and hurled it. It, too, struck Pinkie Pie firmly, this time on the flank, causing her to shriek and drop her half-finished weapon. Then, suddenly, there were other shrieks off to the right. Gah! Pinkie, run! Yelled Rainbow Dash as she sustained a full-on barrage of... cold, wet justice, hurled remorsefully by a triumphant Applejack. Rainbow also tried to fight back, but Applejack's salvo, S-A-L-V-O. Applejack's salvo was relentless in both accuracy and ferocity, and Rainbow was forced to retreat on swift wings back to the safety of her defenses. Spelled defenses wrong. Well, whatever. Pinkie Pie followed quickly, her giggling unbridled. Ha! How do you like them apples? Yelled Applejack victoriously. You're going to pay for that, Rainbow called back with completely false anger. You should have given up when you had the chance. Why don't you all come out here with your hooves up and we'll go easy on you? Shouted Applejack, still grinning. The response was another series of snowballs hurled at them. Sorry. The response was another series of snowballs hurled at them from the wall, causing Applejack and Twilight to duck for cover. Then they began throwing their own back in reply. It quickly became a war of attrition. Rainbow and Pinky's wall provided a superb defense, and while Applejack's overturned cart wasn't quite as efficient, it was still largely effective. Most shots therefore missed their targets, impacting the front of the wall or the side of the cart. And when the rare shot made contact with a foe, it was a cause for celebration and and laughter on both sides. But it wasn't but wasn't shit. But with neither side making any headway, Twilight realized a new strategy was needed. She swiftly manufactured a half-dozen snowballs while Applejack kept their opponents under fire. Then, with a final quick look at the wall down the street to gauge the distance, she seized them in her aura and all at once flung them up towards the sky at a steep angle. Hey, that's really smart. Stupid, but smart? No, I don't know. The six white spheres arced gracefully upwards, reached their zenith, and descended, raining cold carnage upon a very surprised Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie, who squealed under the volley of improvised mortar fire. Ugh. Applejack took note of Twilight's success. In similar fashion, she gathered 4 or 5 snowballs together on her tail, and with a powerful flick, catapulted them skywards too. Her aim wasn't as perfect as Twilight's, at least on her first go, but with trial and error, improved it rapidly. With trial and error, proved it rapidly, and it gave their enemies a lot to think about. Their carefully built fortification now provided little protection as chilly devastation rained down from above. And as it was okay. And it was doubly satisfying as when Rainbow and Pinkie tried to copy their tactic, Twilight and Applejack could huddle inside the cramped cart in relative safety. They'd successfully turned the tables and gained the upper hoof over their ambushers. It wouldn't be long before Applejack and Twilight would be the ones demanding surrender and milkshakes. So caught up were they... Was this guy taking lessons from Yoda? So caught up were they in their mirthful battle, they didn't even notice the approach of 2 more of their friends until they were stood right next to them. Oh no. Not a good best position to do this. Oh crap. Dear heavens, exclaimed Rarity. Whatever is going on? A+ for effort. Yay. Throwing the last of her snowballs for the time being, Twilight turned towards where Rarity and Fluttershy stood only a few feet away. She broke into an automatic happy grin. Oh, hi guys. Whoa, Jesus. We're engaged in a pitched battle that could very well decide the future of this entire street. I didn't know snowballs were that powerful. It's okay though, we got him in the ropes now, added Applejack, also turning towards her friends. Would you care to join us? Twilight offered. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it's really a lot of fun. Sorry. Fluttershy took a hesitant half step backwards while Rarity put on a worried smile. Oh, Well, as delightful as the idea of urban warfare sounds. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I never thought of it like that. That's really cool. Twilight, I fear Fluttershy and I have uh, a breakfast appointment to keep, but do have fun saving Ponyville from certain doom, won't you? At that moment, a fresh, indiscriminate volley of snowballs showered them from down the street, hurled by two ponies no longer suffering the effects of suppressive fire or constant bombardment, bombardment and eager for retribution. uh, ow. Unfortunately, one of them stuck Rarity right between the eyes. Oops. Sorry. Seriously, that's how it is. S-O, pause, R-R-Y. It's, it's how you say it, okay? Point that out right now. Pinky's voice echoed it distantly, but Rarity was not mollified. My mane! My mane! She cried. What did it do to my mane? Calm down, Rarity. It said Calm down, Rarity, said Twilight soothingly. Your mane looks fine. Didn't even touch it, confirmed Applejack, once more crouched behind the cart. Ain't even a hair out of... Of course you realize this means war, Pinky. Oh, whoops. Of course you mean... Of course you realize this means war, Pinkie Pie! Rarity screamed in the direction of the distant rampart. Twilight couldn't help but think that Rarity had overreacted a little, even for her. But she was also caught sight of the corners of her mouth curling into a smile. Whoops. But she also caught sight of the corners of her mouth curling into a smile as she scooped up her own half hoofful of snow and prepared to throw. Whoa! Hold on a second, called Rainbow Dash, flapping her wings and leaving the safety of her barricade, floating slowly. Flapping her wings and leaving the safety of her barricade, floating slowly over to the four ponies gathered near the overturned cart. If you're getting Rarity, then we won't Fluttershy, she said with a frown. 4 against 2... Okay, I am sorry. 4 against 2 is no fair. Rainbow ignored Applejack's acrobatic. Rainbow ignored Applejack's acrobatic. I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Reply. Something about it how it was so okay. Something about how it was also unfair to spend all morning constructing a impenetrable fortress before launching a sneak attack on your friends, and flew over to Fluttershy. Oh, whoops. On your friends, and flew over to Fluttershy, picking her gently off the ground. Aww. Oh, I could just picture that, like, freaking, like, no cat, like, okay. Oh, Rainbow Dash? You see, I'm not sure I really want... Come on, Fluttershy, replied Dash confident. God, I cannot talk or read today. Come on, Fluttershy, replied Dash confidently, paying her muted protestations no heed. We've got to defeat our enemies and get control of Ponyville. Pretty much everything ever depends on it. Why didn't we have missed this fun as kids? She carried her friend over to the wall and deposited her carefully behind it. Then she grinned. Ready? I think I'm going to end it there. I know the last video was a bit longer, but I don't know what the hell I was doing. What are you doing? But, judging from the huge length of this story, it's going to be probably based into probably more than 6 parts. So, until then, this is ReplayX2X logging off.